Part 2 of 2. Sorry about that. The phone rang. And yeah, there's real life stuff going on. This just in on this rainy Thursday morning. Critical Role has been called out for doing stuff they said they were gonna do. Their charity, which they set up to donate funds to charitable organizations that they want to support, has gotten under fire for doing that, donating money to charitable foundations for topics that they want to support. Because it was Critical Role that did this, or specifically the Critical Role Foundation that did this, and not the individual members. Now, here's the problem. Doesn't matter what your they gave the money to the humanitarian aid that's going on in the Gaza Strip thing. Unless you're living under a rock, you probably know about the little dust up over in Gaza between Israel and the Middle East and the other stuff. Okay, not the place to discuss this. But we know there are humanitarian aid charities doing work there to help people out. Critical Role, the Critical Role Foundation, which was set up to give money to programs like this, donated some money to this. I believe it was $25,000, but I'm not sure. Let's see. Yeah, $25K to each of a couple of the different charities there. WC Kitchen and Save the Children. Okay, fine. Your charity foundation did what it was supposed to do. Researched charities, had the money, decided to give the money to these funds because they met the qualifications of what your charity, which has very little to do with the actors involved with Critical Role, decided to donate the monies to. Okay, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. It doesn't matter, what do you think about the situation they're there or not? They're not taking a political stance. They're not saying we support these guys. We support these guys. They're saying, no, people are suffering. Let's send them some food. Let's help kids out. Let the, diplomats handle the other stuff. Well, because Critical Role fans are Critical Role fans, they have gotten shit on for this. Good morning. So here's what happened. Apparently, the fan base kept sending them text, emails, etc., saying, give money to the situation in Gaza or else. Give money to the situation in Gaza or we will cancel our subscriptions and we will boycott you. Because that's the loving Critical Role fan base. But OGGM, didn't you do this last year where you boycotted D&D Beyond? How is this different? Yeah, it is completely different, but I assume you're going to bring that up at some point in time, Rage Pig. Thank you for farming my content. Fan base wanted them to do something, and if they didn't do it within the time frame that the fan base wanted them to do, the fan base was going to come after them. What a shock. What a shock. So Critical Role said, we've researched this, we've decided, we've been working on this for a while, and this is what we're doing. We're donating to this and this. Okay, fine. You bowed, you gave into the fan base, you gave the money. Now, chances are they were already working on this. Chances are they were already researching this. Chances are the Critical Role Charity Foundation, which existed before the situation in the Gaza Strip started, when that started, was probably researching this 2-3 months ago and trying to figure out the best way to do that. And it was, if it's any other charity, it probably would not have come to the attention. But because it's Critical Role, and Critical Role is constantly forced to be looked at under a microscope and forced anything they do through the sieve of the preconceived negative perception on every side of the Critical Role wall, by not doing it within the time frame that the fan base wanted them to do it, i.e. before the war started. Could you take the time machine that you bought with your $9 million and go back in time to stop the thing between Ashley Johnson and her ex? But also, could you go back in time, Critical Role, and stop the situation in Gaza Strip? Because we know that's the kind of power Matt Mercer has. Matt Mercer has got so much power, he can start and stop wars, because, that's what we do here at Rage Pig. We say stupid things like that. Yeah. So that was the kind of stuff that they got. So they did it. They gave money. All right, fine. We gave money. They didn't say we gave money because you told us to. They just said, we heard you. We're giving money. Chances are we were going to do this anyways. We probably been researching it for months because that's what the people at the foundation do. As somebody who has worked for 20 some odd years for a nonprofit, that's what we do. So they announced this, the money is on the way, and you would think that's it. Except no, of course not, because now we get the Critical Role didn't need to do that. Which is including me. I said, you know what? Critical Role didn't need to do that. If the individual members of the staff, actors, if Sam Riegel wants to give money to the charity or support the charity, that's fine. If Ashley Johnson wants to give money and time to a different charity, that's fine. What they do as individuals, what the charity foundation does behind the scenes, that's fine. It's none of our business. The show did not need to make a statement, but unfortunately, the show chose to make a statement as the voice of the show, as opposed to the voice of the foundation or the individuals involved. And now they're getting the things like, oh, how dare you bow to the woke scolds? Oh, how dare you support the war in Gaza? Oh, how dare you support Israel? Oh, how dare you support Palestine? How dare you support Russia? How dare you support racism? Why did you wait so long? Blah, 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 blah. Bowing to the woke scold. It wasn't your job. But by doing this, you associate yourselves with the rainbow trolls or whatever else. If you did this, bottom line is they can't win. They can't win because of this level of scrutiny that they're under. And I am the first person in the world to, talk shit about Critical Role. So it's a rare occasion when I defend them. But this is actually a repeat of the previous times they've involved themselves publicly with a charity or with something that wasn't within their wheelhouse. Remember the Wendy's thing or the other charity things that they've gotten involved with? It's never ended up coming out okay because the fan base and the anti-fan base will always go after them. They went after them for not doing it within a time frame. They threatened them with boycotts. And then they said, well, here's the announcement. But, we know that they've been working on that for months. They've been researching it for months. They just announced it now, which they didn't have to do. They didn't have to announce it. People who received the emails from the foundation would have known. The general populace had no reason of knowing. The nonprofit I work for does stuff all the time. They never tell people about it. If you know, but it's not, who cares? Oh, you gave $10,000 to the thing. I don't care. It doesn't. That's what your job is. You're a charity. That's literally what you're supposed to do. But because it's Critical Role, because it is always under that microscope, it just can't win. Because now people are saying, well, you gave in. You gave in. You bowed. You took a knee. And once you take a knee, you give the woke skulls the power. Oh, you gave in. You're giving money to Israel. Oh, you gave in. You're giving money to Palestine. Oh, you gave in. You're giving money to Gaza. Oh, you gave in. You're racist, whatever. There's no positive outcome for this for them other than the few people who are like, thank you. And the few people who are going, you know what? We didn't need to know this. That's wonderful that your charity did its job of giving money to situations that fit within the wheelhouse of your charity after doing its due diligence of researching the best way to give money to the charities that fall within the wheelhouse of why the foundation was set up. Unless I'm a member of the foundation, I probably didn't need to know that. It didn't need to be news. And I certainly didn't need to read all these things. Oh, nobody's saying that. Nobody's saying that. You make shit up, OGGM. Nobody's saying that. Well, let's go to where I got this story from, the character record sheet on comicbook.com. Let's go to videos, and let's go to a video posted yesterday, Critical Role called out and response. So this is where I'm getting the information.
Sure, a fire.
For all those people who say I just make this shit up, and I don't
extinguisher
have
does
proof,
come in handy,
even though
except it would leave behind a...
Thanks. The character sheet, are you happy with Critical Role's response? And here's response number one. Considering how much money they have made over the years to help out so many people, The fans shouldn't feel so entitled. Be thankful for what they're doing with their donations, and even thankful that they haven't mistakenly made any improper comments on the war like other VAs out there. One day ago, they should never have said nothing, never given to the mob. And one day ago, see our fans get what they deserve. Entitled, bullying, woke scold. One day ago, I really appreciate this. People are divided, but really they don't need to say anything. Exactly. One day ago, can't people just understand there's aid is needed and we shouldn't get involved in the politics? One day ago, unfortunately, people who are fans of Critical Role have no common sense. One day ago, demanding a bunch of actors who play a game for a living make a statement about something they have zero control over and has nothing to do with them is complete BS. So I do not make up these statements about people complaining about these choices, okay? They're out there, guys. Bullying people into making political statements is really shitty. Critical Role didn't have to make a statement. They didn't have to give money. And if they did give money, they didn't have to let you know, right? But they did because they wanted you to know that they're listening to them. Instead of people going, oh, thanks, guys, and moving on, they went after them. And for those of you who don't believe these, that I don't cite these, here it is right here, people giving them shit for doing what they said. And the same people who said, if you don't do this, I'm going to boycott you. So they can't win. They can't win. It's as much as I bag on Critical Role. I mean, come on, guys. It's not fair. And my statement stands. If the individuals involved with Critical Role, Sam, Travis, whatever, want to donate their time and money to charities during their, personal time, that's fine. If the Critical Role Foundation wants to donate money to various charities and situations, again, that's fine. That's why it exists. Do we need to know that? No. Did Critical Role need to make a statement that we're doing this after receiving so many statements about after basically receiving, if you don't do this, I'm going to X type threats? No, they didn't. And they should have learned their lesson after the Wendy's things and all the other times they try and do this. They should have just stayed in their wheelhouse. Nothing regarding these funds should ever have been connected to the individuals who appear on your screen every week playing D&D. Their only job when the show starts to when the show ends is to play D&D. And hopefully people who are watching it enjoy it, though based upon the responses people are having from Campaign 3, it's obvious they're not enjoying it. So, in closing, am I blowing this out of proportions? Do you think we needed to know that Critical Role was giving money to the situation? Do you care? Do you agree that they gave in to the woke mob? Or do you agree they were probably going to do this anyways and had been researching it and it just happened to sadly fall within the time period? Do you believe that they should just play games and not let us know stuff like this? Do you think I'm just making this shit up? I'm the OGGM. If you appreciate this nonsense, let me know. Be careful out there. It's raining. I'll talk to you later.